Hello, beautiful artists. Welcome to another episode of Mandala Marathon. This is episode 3. I'm your host, Chris, from Mandalas Inc. Let's get started. So, with every mandala, I do want to improve upon something that either I'm struggling with or something completely new. I want to improve as an artist with every single drawing I do. And for this one, I wanted to work on my shading. For me, shading has always been something very difficult to master. I'm not sure why. It's just something that has always been, difficult for me. And for mandalas, to add it to my mandalas, it's been very difficult. So when I was doing traditional art, I would either do stippling. That's when you add just those little dots to give the drawing that shaded effect. Or I would do hatching. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's when you make the little scratchy lines. You kind of see it in comic book designs. But that's kind of what I would do with my traditional art. For my digital art, I know there's people who sell like Procreate brushes that simulate those, but I never got those at all. So what I tried doing was using the airbrush brushes within Procreate. The one I stuck with was the soft airbrush, and I went into the Procreate studio, in the studio they have, and kind of messed with the settings. One thing with all my pens I actually had to do, not just this brush, was mess with the pressure sensitivity. For some reason, I'm really heavy-handed. So, for example, the pens I use, like the brush pens I use within Procreate, to do the line art, I completely removed the pressure sensitivity because there are moments where, for some reason, I push down way too hard, and I didn't want the lines to look inconsistent. And I did the same thing with the soft brush, but it looks like I might have to change that setting a little bit. And the reason is because I feel like I was a little too heavy-handed with the shading in this one. I really do enjoy how it came out in the last mandala number 2, but in this mandala, I do believe I added a little too much shading. I don't know, maybe that's just me. If you think differently, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I don't know why, I just feel like I added a little too much shading. There's not enough contrast in this drawing, or maybe there's too much. I really don't know. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know how much I feel about this particular mandala. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I am doing a challenge, a $10,000 mandala challenge. So it's going to be difficult. And I knew even early on I could hit, these roadblocks. But yeah, I just don't know how I feel about it. Overall, it still does look pretty cool. I did enjoy how it came out with the line art, specifically the vines. That was another thing I improved upon in this drawing, was I wanted to make the vines look a little more detailed. So one thing I've been adding is kind of like a mix between stippling and hatching. So I'll go in to certain designs, the leaf or the petal designs. I'll do these little lines where I'll do a line, then a dot, then another line. I do really enjoy how this has been coming out. That's something I do want to improve upon as well. So I added the vines. I do want to add more of that design, as I said, but I also want to make sure I'm not overdoing it. For those vines, I do, or leaves, I don't know how to put it. So there is a design I see all the time. I usually see it in like architecture. I'll put it up on the screen right now. This kind of design is something I really want to add to my mandalas, and I've wanted to add it since I did traditional. I just feel like one thing that I kind of lack is my hand control on my tablet. So when I'm drawing, I feel like sometimes I'll lose my balance in the way I draw, but with these, I do mess up a lot when I'm making the longer lines. I'm I'm better with making shorter, smaller lines and drawing with the wrist. But I feel like with these designs, I kind of have to force myself out of that. I have to use more of my whole arm to draw. But I do want to work on implementing these into my mandalas, because I think they would make the mandalas look very, very cool. I've seen other artists with these kinds of designs on their mandalas, and I love the way they look. So I kind of want to give that organic look to my mandalas. They kind of already do, don't get me wrong, but I do want to make them look more realistic. And I do think that I'll be able to do that as time goes on. I improve my shading, I improve my line work. But like I said, this is only Mandala 3. I don't want to, bite off more than I can chew. That's another reason why I'm not doing the Inktober challenge. But if for anyone who's watching this and is doing the Inktober challenge, good luck. I wish you the best. I hope you get it done. But I'm not going to be joining it. I feel like I'm already doing a challenge that's going to take an entire lifetime. So that's why I'm not doing that. But anyways, back to this mandala. Yeah, I do think there's a lot of little mistakes I made in this mandala. Obviously, I'm happy with it at the end, regardless of whether I enjoyed how it came out or anything like that. You do have to appreciate your own art, and I really do appreciate this piece. I've learned a lot from working on it, and it gave me a lot of insights on how I can improve as an artist. But yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching and following along with my journey. I hope you are all doing well, and thanks for watching, and please stay tuned for the next one. Bye-bye.